I want to know, genuinely, what's been your most challenging moments as an actor? Because, you know, you wear both hats, directing and acting. But for acting, what was your most challenging?
Well, I've had this really, I mean, I'm pretty new to acting. And Transparent is really the first big thing that I've done. And I've had this kind of amazing experience where it's been like somewhat joyful and easy to emote in that way. Like I've always been the guy in my family who's, everyone's like, can you stop feeling everything so much? Because it kind of bothers us, like all the feelings that you're having. So that was like pretty easy.
And saying it out loud.
And saying it out loud, absolutely, yeah. But there was one day in the first season of Transparent, probably about 7 days in, where what everyone thought was gonna be my most fun day, where I had to have sex with 4 strangers on camera.
Amazing.
And I went to Catholic school. I've had like 4 girlfriends in my entire life. Like my character on the show has had sex with more people in season 1 than I've had in my entire life. And so it was my first time, like, you know, being like mostly naked with a total stranger. And it's just weird.
It's weird,
really
isn't it?
Weird. There's like 50, 60 people watching you.
Yeah. I can relate to some of those things.
I saw that you could.
I could,
Yeah.
I can. I can
Yeah.
also, yeah, the naked stuff is just funny. It's interesting.
It's funny later.
After the fact, it's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
But it's harder for a dude as well, I have to say. One
Is
would
it?
imagine. No, it's definitely harder for women. But as in, there's kind of, you know, there's sort of, there's the sock situation. I'm just
The
gonna say
sock
it.
situation is kind of like
Which
weirder
is-
than the normal situation. It's it's kind of sad. It's
is.
kind of weird and sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
no.
How about
You
for
can stuff
you?
it, though,
How,
I hear.
you can stuff it.
One can stuff as well.
One can stuff. Yes. They can stuff
can,
things.
you
It's
know,
like
you
a
just-
Crown Royal bag for your.
Well, pretty much.
For people who don't know.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
No, that's exactly it.
Yeah, but you have to be approached and accosted.
That's a polite way of putting it.
You have
Yes.
to deal with things.
Yes, I
and,
do.
and how is that for you?
Yeah, that's definitely, so far as challenging goes.
Yes. Yeah.
Season 1 of Game of Thrones, like, everything, just did it all. I got raped, I came out of the fire, I was butt naked. You know, fights, all of it. I was pregnant and then lost it, and then kind of, you know, gave birth to something else. And so season 1 was the most challenging out of everything, but the naked stuff is always difficult. It's always kind of hard because it's just uncomfortable for many reasons.
So many reasons.
And you have to, like, it's weird, as the actor, I feel like you have to be the one who comes on and says, it's okay, the guys, everything's gonna be fine.
Yes.
You guys can chill, it's not a big deal.
No one ever told me
You've
that.
all seen them, you know. Everything's gonna be fine.
It is really weird though, because it's one of the few times where you can't just be in the moment.
No.
Because it's like the most choreographed stuff that you have to do, and nothing really is going on. So you have to, it's basically like doing Pilates
Yes.
for a long
that's-
time without any reward to come.
Yeah.
Like that's what you don't realize when you're having
Yeah.
sex. There's a reward that's coming at the end of this. When you're not, you're just like, oh, God, my core sucks. Everything sucks. Right? It's a weird thing.
No, it's weird. It is weird. And also, there's only so much talking and holding your stomach in. You know what I mean? You like clench and hold it.
Yeah, exactly.
Be badass and like do a big speech and, you know, strategically hold a dragon over your lady parts. There's a lot to think about.
I look forward to that in
Yeah.
my own career, holding a dragon over my lady parts.
Well, that sums up
I hope
mine.
that's coming.
It really does.
Lannister, Targaryen, Baratheon, Stark, Tyrell. They're all just spokes on a wheel. This one's on top, then that one's on top, and on it spins, crushing those on the ground.
It's a beautiful dream.
Backing up,
Oh,
I
okay.
heard a rumor
Oh, dear.
that you did the funky chicken and the robot dance for your audition for Game of Thrones. So I want to know,
Well,
one,
okay.
is that true? And two, if so, when is that showing up on Game of Thrones?
I know.
'Cause I need to see that.
You need to see that. Well, you know, you can. There's this. No, I'm not even gonna go there. Like, there's a certain night of the week you can see that, sweetheart.
Wait.
No, yeah, it's true. It's really true. It's really true. I'm really like a nervous, polite English girl.
Yeah.
Especially like they flew me out for the screen test. It was this big thing. I was just so scared, and I I had been, one of my mates before I was going to America was like, dude, you should like, you know, you're going to LA, you like shouldn't have sugar and be really healthy and go over and you're like glowing and stuff. So I'd been really healthy and then they offered me a Diet Coke.
This is incredible.
This is the truth.
Yeah.
And they offered me a Diet Coke and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take that Diet Coke, I'm gonna take that sugar. And I hadn't had sugar in so long.
So you were jacked up for your audition.
So I walked in and was like, okay, I'm really serious. And then they gave me this soda and I went crazy and was like, okay, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready.
I seriously can't believe you have the role right now. This is unbelievable.
It's ridiculous. So before, the producers were really like, I think they wanted me to do well. You know, there was like there were a lot of people in that room, like a lot of people. And David and Dan, David Benioff and Dan Weiss and Frank Dolger and Carolyn Strauss, all producers on the show, showrunners. They had like, they had seen me in England and they had brought me over. And they were kind of, oh, so this chick we like found somewhere in London who's done nothing but like one episode of like a daytime TV show. We'd like her to be this main character on this new show we're doing.
Wow.
So I needed to go in and be like, they weren't crazy. So I was just very nervous and scared, and they had said, listen, we might ask you to do other things other than just the scenes that you had prepared.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm ready. And then I had the Diet Coke and was, you know,
Coked
super
up.
happy to be there. Super happy to be there.
Yeah.
Super grateful and ready for anything.
Yeah.
So then then I went in and I did the scenes, and then I was like, well, can I do anything else? Is there anything else you want me to do? And David Benioff was like, you could do a dance, lol, like as a joke.
Oh my God.
And I took him so seriously.
That's incredible.
Because I was just so, you know, I might as well have brought in like a little apple or something, teacher's pet.
That could have made or broken your audition. That was like a intense
It was
choice.
intense.
Yeah.
It was super intense. And it's the only move I know. Just the funky chicken. But I don't think you're going to see it. I don't think you're going to see it in Game of
season
Thrones.
7.
No, I've tried to make her funny and it doesn't work. Khaleesi isn't funny.
Okay. I just busted Colton. He was like praying, like all like on his knees with his hands clasped. It was like one of those precious moments figurines in there.
It's a way to do it.
It was a little embarrassing.
I pray.
This is your first acting role, correct? So how did you do it? I mean, most challenging moment aside.
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah. I was at a party for directors. We directors have these, like, every once in a while we have a party where we get together and we talk about actors.
Oh, wow.
And yeah.
I just threw up a little bit in my mouth. That's too much.
And it's like kind of it, because we don't
You
get to
did
hang
that.
out. We're not on each other's sets. Like, we see each other at parties sometimes, but
Oh my
we
goodness.
kind of get together, have dinner every once in a while, and talk, and basically talk
Seriously?
about like who's crazy and who's awesome.
Oh my
I know it's a thing that happens.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I had just
As
seen
if-
Jill's movie Afternoon Delight, and I was really into it, and I was just talking to her, and she said, listen, I have this TV show that I'm setting up right now, and I have the whole family, and I have the 2 daughters, but I don't have the son. Like, this son is, it's like a 35-year-old super neurotic / super charismatic, like, Jewish guy. And I was like, I know all those guys. They're all my friends. And I just started like rattling off a list, because that's what we do. We're trying to help each other, you know, cast a movie, whatever. And she was like, no, I've thought of all those people. It has to be somebody different that's unexpected. And we were talking for like 30 minutes, and she's like, it's you.
Amazing.
And I got chills, and I was like, I don't want to, I'm not an actor. And I was just building Togetherness. I was about to start shooting Togetherness, and it was the first time I was doing a TV show. And I was like, Jill, I'm a writer and a director, and I'm about to tackle my first TV show. I don't have time. And she said, okay, you come in tomorrow. You're gonna read with Gabby Hoffman and Amy Landecker, who ended up being my sisters on the show.
Yes.
And we did this scene at a dinner table with barbecue, and we were like fighting with each other, and they, like I do, they have siblings that they're really close to, and they know the kind of like that irreverence is a way to show love, and we were just, it was we did the scene and everyone just stopped and we were like, okay, we're a family. And she just nodded at me and I was like, I'm gonna act in a TV show. Okay, I'll do this. Yeah, but even at the time it felt real small. It felt like we were gonna do like a independent web show on the east side of LA, because it was Amazon, it was early days with Amazon. And you know, like 6 months later, we won the Golden Globe, and it's all been very surreal to me, like becoming an actor, being on that show, which is I love it, and it's, you know, it's at the forefront of the civil rights movement. It's really like I still can't comprehend it. I'm still processing it, but I don't know. It's weird. Hello. Hi. Hi. I'm sorry if this is weird, but I think you should be wearing this when his parents get here.
What is that?
It's just so that, you know, we present the right optics on the situation. I have very specific fan interactions because of Transparent. It's very low key though, and I'm curious what your interactions are like with Game of Thrones fans.
It's an intense. Game of Thrones fans are intense kind of breed.
Do they
of
wield
people.
a sword when they approach you?
No.
No.
And it's okay. So it's funny. So the books themselves have this huge fan following.
Yeah.
And what I like to call hardcore fans, as in the people who love the books, are something in itself. And so you're not always going to please them. We aren't always going to please them, which has obviously been one of the biggest struggles of the show. One of the biggest things to kind of look out for.
That's tough, because I mean, that's like a religion to them. That's Game of Thrones to them exists in the spirit realm, and TV shows like a 100th of it. Yeah.
Exactly. And then you have that, and then you have the new fans, the fans just of the show, who have then gone back and read the books and all of those things. And then you get the combination of the two, and they are like, they're it. The people who have read and loved the books and watch and love the show, you're like, okay, we struck gold.
Yeah.
They are fabulous and wonderful. And they can range from, I wish I had more. I truly wish I had more people who, like, you know, running after me with swords or dragons. Would be great, would be wonderful. But one of the funnier ones that happened recently on the plane was an air steward. No, he's not an air hostess. But he was a man.
He was a flight attendant.
Flight attendant. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much.
Yeah.
And he was honoured to have Khaleesi on board, and how if he might helpeth me, he would be. If thine would put thine tray table up,
really,
and thine seat in the upright position,
oh my God,
for 1,000 suns, and with like a smile. It was beautiful. It was very special.
That's the sweetest thing I've ever heard.
It was really wonderful. That was pretty good.
There's another thing that I wondered about too, because, well, you look very different from your character on the show, which I guess is I'm guessing you can be somewhat anonymous some of the time. You are on like the most popular television show that's ever existed, but it's kind of shocking how unrecognizable I am. Yeah. Which I have to admit, like, I'll be walking down the street with Kit Harington, who plays Jon Snow. Yeah. And I'll be walking down the street with him, and people will stop him every 30 seconds. Yeah. Someone will stop him, and I will be taking the pictures for him. I will be like, yeah, sure, bye. That's insane. That kind of thing. But then there are some moments when you're at like a fancy award ceremony where you're like, I'm on the list. I'm on the list. Yeah. Who's gonna come in? I promise you. I swear. I'm like, I don't have my ID. I've had that. I play a depraved sex addict on TV. You need to let me into this party. Well, no, exactly. I've gotten to know you a little bit, and you're a happy person, and you're just a lovely, laid back person, and you're like very different from your character on the show, which is like, says a lot about your performance. But I guess one thing I was wondering, am I lying? This is an actual serious question. Oh, okay. I have, is like, what is it like playing a warmonger for like 5 years and going through all this crazy stuff? Like, has that had an effect on you personally? Because like, on the show you like lead nations. Yeah. Like, has that affected you in any way? It's funny because
the start of my character, she wasn't. So it's been amazing to be able to play this arc that is so rare.
Yeah.
And I mean, me being able to play this role is like just simply, it's just the luckiest, most wonderful, beautiful, special experience I'll ever get, I think, because it's such a beloved character and there is so much to play. So I've been able to kind of find her with her, because when you first see her, she's just a scared child.
Yeah.
And it's just the way that she reacts to all of the things that she comes up against that kind of enable her to be this, like, go from strength to strength. And it's badass. It's wonderful to be on set and to be able to go, I'm gonna do some damage to people. I'm gonna kill some people. It's gonna be special. And it has, I think there might have been moments in my life where I've kind of channeled my inner Khaleesi. But 9 times out of 10, it's just funny as shocking people that, like, that's not who I am.
Yeah.
That it's...
You're just hanging at a party, cracking jokes and giggling.
That's pretty much it. And I think that's where my need to giggle comes from.
Yeah, I like that.
In that I have to not giggle on set.
All right, quick question.
Yes, and I have to ask you loads of questions.
Real quick.
Okay.
Drago versus Josh Pfefferman in a fight. And before you answer, I want to say that Josh had a cardio kickboxing class for like 8 days one time, and his sensei told him that he was pretty okay.
That he was it.
Yeah, he was the stuff.
He was the stuff. The good stuff.
Who do you think would win? Okay, wait.
We could do it.
Wait. What about a passive aggressive fight?
Passive aggressive.
Who would win that?
Fight. Well, yeah. Well, Drogon's kind of you have to feed him. He gets kind of sad and sassy, and he might.
Yeah,
he's
he gets
an
a little
animal.
grumpy.
He's going to get a little distracted by, there might be like a pretty goose flying by that looks pretty tasty, or like, someone might throw a ball.
If my character had his like BMW, his music industry BMW, it's a bulletproof glass.
I understand
he might
that.
Be able to
I understand that. I think he could probably talk his way round to being like, here's why you don't want to do it. Here's why I'm going to win.
I think so. I think
he's definitely got a better chat. I want to know what's better. What's better, acting or directing? I know that's the hardest thing. But I mean, truly, being able to, like, is it weird to have spent your entire career being the phenomenal director that you are?
Oh, thanks.
For reals.
Thank you.
Serious. And then suddenly you're like, oh, this is what I'm doing to other people, the actors.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm kind of new to acting, so I'm just loving it right now.
Yeah.
But this is what I will say is writing and directing and like creating a whole show, it's not fun. It's like incredibly fulfilling, but it's not fun. Like, you don't have fun when there's no downtime. You know, there's no like going to your trailer and like playing Candy Crush for like 20 minutes. There's no Candy Crush for like 7 months. You know what I mean? It's just like full on directing.
Yes.
And acting is, my brother has a great analogy, and what he says is, if being the writer-director of a show is like being the mother who like births a child and raises them to fruition and then sends them on their way, being an actor is like being the drunk uncle who shows up at Christmas with Oreos and steals the show and gets out in like 22 minutes. And that's genuinely how I feel about it. But I do love acting so much, but I also am aware that I walked onto a phenomenal show with phenomenal human beings that's, like I was saying, at the forefront of a civil rights movement. So I just feel lucky to be able to do both.
To be the drunk uncle.
To be the drunk uncle.
Yes.
Drunkle.